Want to watch football without the restrictions of blackouts or cable? Check out expressvpn.com to help you get access to all the live games. Sign up today using the link in the description to get 3 free months. Yo, what up, brothers? It's the Director. Chargers fans, are you ready? Are you ready for what is perhaps the biggest Chargers game that I have seen in a long time? The winner could determine who takes the AFC West, more than likely determines who takes the AFC West. And this could begin a transition into Chargers domination in the AFC West and in the division for a long time. Not only that, man, getting a win here, taking the division, could inspire the Chargers to go all in next season. Because historically speaking, teams that take their division, young quarterback, loaded up roster, lots of money to spend, they go all in the following season. I think the Chargers are ready to take that leap and take the torch by force as kings of the AFC West. This should be a big one, guys. A big video today. Question in the comments for you guys before we do get started. In his first down year that we've seen for Patrick Mahomes, where would you rank him among quarterbacks? Me personally, I got Brady, Rodgers, Herbert, then Mahomes at 4. You guys let me know in the comments section below. Before we do kick off, guys, as a reminder, we've got a giveaway going on right now, man. A signed Justin Herbert jersey for one of my lucky subscribers. All you got to do to enter for this is hit up the link in the description, follow the instructions there. Very simple, and make sure you are subscribed. Only subs can win. This is one of the best things I think I've ever given away on this channel. But of course, we cannot forget about the crew members. You guys are amazing. You're the reason this channel lives on. I've got a signed full-sized Keenan Allen helmet for one of you lucky guys in the crew. All you got to do to enter for this is be a member of my crew, and that's it. We're going to be drawing a winner close to Christmas. Good luck, everybody. And with that, let's get into this one. Before we do, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this Chargers content. The small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, bell notification helps me out a lot. 50,000 subs is what I got my eye on, baby. Let's get there together. With that, let's get into this one. Lights, camera, action. The Chargers versus Chiefs battle for the West Week 15 game preview. Now, like we always do, we're going to start things off with our injury report, and this might be the biggest storyline among the entire NFL this week when it comes to the cases of COVID that we've seen surging throughout the NFL. The Chargers and the Chiefs are not exempt from this disaster that we're seeing so far. We will go over the Rashawn Slater news in just a second. I have a whole segment kind of drawn up for them. Outside of that, the Chargers taking things pretty strategically on a short week. Did not practice for a lot of these players on Monday. Limited practice on Tuesday, and we still haven't gotten the report for Wednesday, but I do think I have an idea. All these limited practice guys here, I do expect them to start. Big names here. Austin Eckler should be fine. Derwin James should be fine. He was dealing with some soreness last week. I think the last I heard, he should be suiting up. Linval Joseph, of course, is back. Justin Jones, the interior of that defensive line looks really good. And another big story here, Asante Samuel Jr., who has been absent the last couple of weeks with back-to-back concussions. He should be back in this game, too. I do think I saw a Chargers fan run into Asante Samuel, and he did mention that he was coming back for the Chiefs game. And outside of that, Mike Williams as well, who we're going to need in that game. Down here to the Kansas City Chiefs, L'Jarius Sneed is going to be out this game. That could carry huge implications for how the Chargers target, specific receivers on their offense. Darrell Williams, full practice, that's right. Andrew Wiley, their guard is questionable, and then Willie Gay is also going to be out in this game too. We do also have, the COVID guys that we're going to talk about here in just a second as well. I think the biggest one for the Chiefs being Chris Jones. That dude's a monster, dude. In my opinion, he's like the anchor, the foundation of that defense, and why that defense has been doing so good for the past few weeks. With his absence, I don't know how things are going to shake out. We'll talk about that more in a second. Now, we've got a lot to cover in this video, so we're going to jump right into it, man. Number 79 right here, Trey Pipkins. The first segment in our keys to victory, the last of the protectors. The Chargers are down 3 starting linemen at this point of the season. Slater out with COVID, Ibushi and Bulaga out with injury. Now the most recent one of those guys being Rashawn Slater, you enter Trey Pipkins. Chargers fans know Trey Pipkins has been a disaster. Trey Pipkins, when he's on the field, I legitimately worry about the condition of my quarterback because he seems just to let everybody through. There's 2 guys in our team right now that really make me worry like that. It's Trey Pipkins and Clemente. And right now, I'm very, very, very worried. Pipkins is not great. There is a chance that he steps up, but he has to have the game of his life. And the Chargers are going to have to figure out a way to soften the blow of Rashawn Slater being absent in this one. And that's kind of what I wanted to go over in this next segment, the vets bets. The Chargers' talented vets in the situation that the O-line is in, they might have to help to massage the situation a little bit. Pipkins is going to get some help from Matt Filer. That's something that he hasn't really had before, and that honestly could make a difference in his game. We've seen Schofield at the right guard position, taking over for Ode Ibushi, benefiting a lot from lining up next to Corey Linsley. So these offseason acquisitions might be pivotal in this game this week versus the Kansas City Chiefs. We can only hope and pray that it does make a difference for Trey Pipkins. Outside of that, man, it's going to be up to Justin Herbert to look at the situation, see if he's got protection. I mean, it's his blind side, and try and buy time with his legs. We'll talk about that more in just a second, but the absence of Rashawn Slater is going to be felt. For those of you asking, is Rashawn Slater for sure out? Even at this point on Wednesday when I'm recording the video, we still don't know, but it's very likely that Rashawn Slater is going to be missing this game, as well as Chris Jones of the Chiefs. Next up, Chiefs defense resurgence? ? The Chiefs have been pretty great since signing Melvin Ingram. It stings a little bit, but at the same time, we have to acknowledge kind of why that's been happening. I think a lot of it has to do with Chris Jones, actually. By entering a Melvin Ingram, Chris Jones has been able to line up in the interior of their defensive line, of which is where he really plays at his best. He is a monster lining up from the inside. Now, without, Chris Jones, his presence on that line, will Melvin Ingram be able to sustain that sort of production by himself with the other guys on that line? I'm not too sure. Without Jones, will Ingram be good? That's kind of a question for you guys in the comment section. We still certainly have to, account for him. He's still a very talented player in the NFL. But at the same time, I don't know if this whole defense really looks the same without Chris Jones. Their passing defense will also take a hit with L'Jarius Sneed out. And I think that's a good way for the Chargers to maybe try and target and get some yards through the air. Their defense has really been the biggest reason, in my opinion, for their winning streak. If anyone can break it, in my opinion, it's going to be Justin Herbert. But still, that defense has been playing pretty lights out. We just have to wait and see how everything gels together without Chris Jones in the middle of that line. Next up, the DBs must stay a step ahead. Now, with Asante Samuel Jr. likely back in this game, the DB group is looking pretty good. Asante, you got Mike Davis, you got Chris Harris Jr. It's looking pretty complete for the first time in a long time. Mike Davis is likely going to see a lot of Tyreek Hill in this game, too. Asante Samuel, I'm excited to have him back, but Mike Davis, being the speedster on this team, he's going to probably be the one that lines up next to, Tyreek Hill, trying to keep up with his speed. And the one thing that makes me worried about that is that Mike Davis, he does have the speed, but Tyreek Hill also has the route running. He's a very complete, very dangerous weapon for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I would say don't be afraid to assign Asante Samuel Jr. to Tyreek Hill every once in a while, because I think Asante can keep up with him in coverage as well. Chris Harris Jr., who will likely be playing the slot, has been playing a lot better in the past few weeks. Can he keep up, though? That's the biggest question when it comes to facing the Kansas City Chiefs. They've not only got Tyreek Hill, they got Mecole Hardman. I think they have Robinson. They got guys out there that are super, super fast. And that's kind of been the kryptonite of a Chris Harris Jr. this season. Maybe if you're Brandon Staley, you think, assign him to Travis Kelce, or a guy that's not as fast that will demand, premium coverage as well. So I'm excited to see how they kind of shake that out. And turnovers. Turnovers are going to be huge. The Chargers certainly, taking advantage of turnover opportunities the last couple of weeks. It's going to be extremely important for that to happen in this game. And as we see in this photo with Asante Samuel Jr., they're more than capable of turning over Patrick Mahomes. In combination with a good pass rush, I think the Chargers can once again win the turnover ratio in this battle. The last thing I'll add as a sticky note on here is that we'll see less Tevon Campbell for the first time in a long time, and that can only mean good things for the Chargers, Stevies. I like Campbell, but, as a backup cornerback, you don't like him to see the field too often. Next up, Hilaire is good, but also watch out for Darrell Williams. Now, Hilaire has been a decent receiving running back for the Chiefs for the past couple of seasons. He did battle injury this year. I do think we're going to see a good amount of him in this game, but don't forget about Darrell Williams too, man. I think I've been more impressed with Darrell Williams' play than I have for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Williams is a bruiser, but he's also really, really good in the receiving game as well. So the Chargers have to keep an eye on that. It's going to keep things a little bit tricky as far as the Chargers trying to guess run or pass, depending on which running back's on the field. I don't think it really matters with the Kansas City Chiefs, so they have to remain diligent. And the Chargers' run defense, it's looked a lot better. It's looked a lot better since the start of the season, but don't let up now. The Chiefs, very dangerous through the air, but they can be equally dangerous on the ground, especially if Patrick Mahomes is still struggling. They might elect to go to the ground a little bit more. Hopefully what we've seen with the Chargers, bringing in guys like Gaziano and Fayoko and Covington to help, clog that lane a little bit. I like it a lot, and I hope to see more of that in this week. Next up, Bosa Teabag, the sequel. Now, Bosa, he did a teabag in the last game. It was absolutely hilarious. Joey Bosa, we're going to need him. We're going to need him and the other pass rushers to have a great game this week. Mahomes is shifty. We know this. We've been playing Mahomes for the past several seasons. We got to keep this man contained. When he gets out of the pocket, starts throwing on the run, those no-look passes, those shovel passes, that's when Patrick Mahomes is his most lethal. Trying to contain Patrick Mahomes, getting big pressure at, crucial times, especially early, that could be very, very, very advantageous for the Chargers. An early sack, maybe in the first quarter, could definitely shift momentum and help the Chargers out and continue Mahomes for the rest of the game. So I'm going to say, if you're going to be blitzing, if you're going to come out with creative packages, do it early and try to shake Mahomes early in this game. I think it's going to help trickle throughout the rest of the few quarters there. Next up, one word: adjust. Now, we saw last week the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Raiders. Gus Bradley, the defensive coordinator for the Raiders, dropped the bag big time. And Chargers fans know this. We've seen this over the last few seasons when he was a DC for the Chargers. He just really didn't make adjustments. He went out there the same look every single time. And if the offense was, making adjustments of their own, they would likely break through and score a lot of points. We saw that happen last week. Brandon Staley, however, won't make the same mistake. If anything, we've seen Brandon Staley be the mastermind of adjustments. He prioritizes taking away big plays, and that could be crucial versus Kansas City. So I think, if Brandon Staley can keep up in his adjustments, I think the Chargers got a good chance to hold down the Chiefs to not a crazy, crazy amount of points. But that adjustment, man, it's going to be very, very, very important in this game as well. Next up, the Mahomes of old? Question mark. The Chiefs' offense hasn't been the same. They haven't quite been in the same rhythm as they've been in the past couple of seasons. I think a lot of that has to do with Patrick Mahomes. He's struggled with his accuracy. Wide receivers have been dropping passes left and right. Maybe not the best decisions by Patrick Mahomes as well. This offense has only been averaging around 21 points for the last 7 weeks. Of course, they blew out the Raiders last week, but honestly, being a division game versus Gus Bradley, I'm not too surprised. So again, like I said with Joey Bosa and the pass rushers, get him out of rhythm quickly, try and force a turnover, try and force a couple of sacks and pressures to the quarterback. I think we can start shaking him up a little bit because we've seen evidence of this, offense struggling in 2021. I think the Chargers could definitely, force that with a couple of good plays on defense. So just keep that in mind. Mahomes still very, very dangerous. If he finds his momentum, finds his rhythm, starts hitting his targets, he could definitely shift the momentum of this game. But at the same time, he has not looked the same as he has in the last couple of seasons since his rookie year, let's be honest. Next up, Justin Herbert. Take the torch by force. With Mahomes struggling, meanwhile, Justin Herbert has been on fire. I think he's been the best primetime quarterback this year, averaging around 34 points per game. He's been nothing short of stellar. And this week will be a tough test without Rashawn Slater, his left tackle, his blind side. He's going to have to do some stuff, man. He's going to have to improvise. Keep moving. Generate yards on the ground with your legs. I know injury risk is there, but you might need to lean on that this week if you're going to take the dub in this game in particular. Make sure he's moving, buying time for his receivers, and most importantly, trying to escape the pressure from Trey Pipkins' side. Hopefully, Pipkins can step up, but at the same time, if you're Justin Herbert, you're probably thinking in the back of your mind, you're gonna be running a lot this game. Okay, a win here by the Chargers, though, and by Justin Herbert. This would definitely, in my opinion, vault him into the MVP race. It's a big one, man. If the Chargers can sweep the Chiefs, it would be an awesome game for Justin Herbert. So yeah, he's got to stay on his feet, man. He's got to definitely, try and keep up and escaping the pressure, buying time for his receivers to get open. Speaking of receivers, Mike Williams, secret weapon, Mike Williams. Chargers fans have seen this man, maybe supply the Chiefs kryptonite for the last couple of seasons. The Chargers have gotten some big wins off of the playability of Mike Williams. With Ward or Fenton, the Chiefs cornerbacks lining up against him, he automatically has the mismatch with his size and speed. So get him involved early, man. We've seen a lot of Mike Williams early this season just absolutely go off. The ex-featured receiver that we've heard from Joe Lombardi, over and over again. This is the week where I think we really do try and feature him. Keenan being back is going to be a very big thing for the Chargers too. I don't know if I mentioned that in the injury report. Keenan Allen, Derwin James should be back. And Keenan, in this game in particular, should draw a lot of coverage away from Mike Williams and the other supporting cast of wide receivers. Mike Williams, I would love to see him be the hero of this game with Justin Herbert once again. He's proven, year in and year out that he's the guy that can go out there and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Next up, the H-bomb. We got Mike Williams out there, man, but Jalen Guyton has been on fire. You know what? You fight fire with fire. The Chiefs definitely know how to put up a ton of points, and they're going to score. We just know that. They're going to score. But Jalen Guyton, man, he's got to be your secret weapon as well with Mike Williams. He's been incredible the last couple of weeks. Bombs away, man. H-bombs away. This may help the Chargers generate space underneath with Kansas City adjusting for those big plays as well. They've watched the Chargers go out there and put up big points with Jalen Guyton, huge yardage. They're probably thinking, hey, we got to take that away this week. And what that's going to do is open up a lot of opportunity underneath for guys like Austin Eckler and maybe Josh Palmer, Keenan Allen to generate some yards underneath too. So I don't know. I really like what the Chargers are doing with the H-bombs. The Chiefs rank 25th versus the pass this season. We can exploit that even further with the absence of L'Jarius Sneed, similar to how teams targeted Tavon Campbell when Asante Samuel Jr. was out for the Chargers. So keep those H-bombs coming, man. Those big plays. Justin Herbert's been good for a couple of them a game. We're really going to need them in this week versus the Chiefs. Next up, momentum could not be more vital. There's going to be a couple of swings in this game, right? The Chargers are going to be looking hot. The Chiefs are going to be looking hot. It's so important to gain momentum early. I've told you guys this a lot this season. I like big plays in the early portions of the game, in the first and second quarter, because, again, you'll have some time to make up for it if you do, make some mistakes. And you know what? Big plays exploit their defense. Big plays. This defense has been keeping them in games the last couple of weeks. These big plays are going to shake them up early. Rush Patrick Mahomes early and often, so not just on the offense, but on the defense. Get those pass rushers in there, throw in those blitzes often. Whoever grabs momentum first could really steer this game the rest of the way. So momentum could not be more vital in this game, and I hope the Chargers understand this and try and grab it early and maintain it early. Honestly, dudes, it could be one of the biggest factors in this game altogether. And then lastly, keep your foot on the gas. Once you grab momentum, do not let up, right? The Chiefs could put up 21 points in a single quarter at any time, right? They're that kind of offense. The Chargers cannot feel comfortable with any lead. Go out there, play efficiently, keep your foot on the gas, step on their throats, and try and limit those penalties. Clean those things up. Stay aggressive is what I'm trying to get here, man. Do not let up, because the Chiefs, more than any other team, in my opinion, in the NFL, could catch up from any sort of point deficit. The Chargers need to try and remain as ahead as they can. who knows, man? Hopefully, if the Chargers can grab the lead early, hopefully they're going to be able to maintain it by staying aggressive. So the last thing on this video today, man, the score prediction. This is definitely a tough one for me. The Chargers are looking hot. The Chiefs are looking hot. Both of them had huge games last week. As a whole, you know, the Chiefs with their defense have been looking a lot better so far. The Chargers are starting to hit their stride. This is going to be a close one, man. Probably one of the best games we're going to see this season. Maybe one of the best primetime game matchups we'll see this season as well. So my score prediction in this one, the Chargers 38, the Chiefs 34. My bottom line here, it doesn't get any bigger than this. Winner likely takes the division. Chargers could take the West by force and prove they are a team to watch out for in the division and in the NFL. A win here could also boost the confidence of this team going into the playoffs tremendously. If they can sweep the Chiefs, they can pretty much beat anybody. And with the Chiefs team that is starting to gain momentum, it's time the Chargers step in and snuff it out, okay? And they can do it. I believe in this team. I believe in Justin Herbert. We can do this. But like I said, 38-34, Chargers maybe taking the win. In this score prediction, it's within one score for a reason. It's within one touchdown for a reason. If the Chiefs start this game hot and put up points at will, the Chargers may not be able to keep up. They may not be able to catch up. So they've really got to stay ahead of the curve. The Bolts will need a near perfect game on Thursday, but from what I've seen, the Chargers have shown me in prime time this season, they're more than capable of doing so. I believe in this team, and I think the Chargers can do it, but again, it's going to be very, very close. But let's go out there and get that dub, baby. I think if anybody can do it, it's Justin Herbert. Bolt up, baby. Bolt up. Well, guys, in the comment section below, again, the question for you guys, let me know where you rank Patrick Mahomes. Let me know your guys' score prediction for this one, and also let me know what you think the biggest factor in this game is going to be for the Chargers, whether it be Justin Herbert's quarterback play, the defense, you know, trying to limit Patrick Mahomes. You guys let me know in the comment section below. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you did enjoy this content, hit us up with a like and sub on your way out. This has been The Director. We'll see you next time, and as always, bolt up and stay frosty. Let's go, Chargers. Go take the division. Take the NFL by storm.